Hello fellow book nerds, this is Gabby and these are all the series I need to finish in 2021. If you don't know, I recently made a video where I reacted to all the series that I said I want to read in 2020. Spoiler alert, it was a disaster, like a proper disaster. You can watch it here if you want to. But I'm saying that was 2020, it was a disaster anyway. Let's just have a clean slate so that I can read all of these series and succeed. And we're going to talk about all the series that I have one or two books or however many books left in a series, and these are all finished series, completed, all the books are out, so that I have not the excuse of like, oh, but the book just came. No, all the books have been out for a while, most of them probably like years, and I think it's finally time to finish them. Like I said, you can check out the other video. It has more series that I didn't finish last year that I said I wanted to, but I didn't add all of them. I kind of reconfigured like some of them. If I finish them one day, that's fine. Like for example, Front of Glass series, if I finish that, that's great, but if I don't, I'm really not bothered. So I got rid of a couple of those series that like honestly I'm not that bothered. We have refined this list, and now all the books here I really want to read really soon, so hopefully I can make it happen. And let's actually start off really strong because this is the #1 series that I'm dying to read in 2021, and it is Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. So if you don't know, Poppy War, we follow our main protagonist who lives with her like foster parents in this quasi-Chinese historical fiction world, and she knows that there are only two options for her in life. Either she gets married to someone she doesn't know and she doesn't want, or she goes to the military academy and becomes a soldier. In order to get into this military academy though, she has to pass this really hard test, and we basically follow her trying to pass the test, then into the academy, and as well as the years beyond in the war, all that. I've read the first book. I thought it was brilliant. It was so good. The last book only came out last year, 2020, but like towards the end of the year really, so it's fine. And the reason I haven't really been up to date with it is because the first book I bought as a paperback, so then the other books I want to read as paperbacks, but the paperbacks come out a year after the hardbacks. I hate when they do that, it's so mean. And actually the paperback for the second book is already out, and I have ordered it, and the last paperback is coming out October 28th, 2021. So by October 28th, 2021, hopefully I would have started the last book and then I can complete it by the end of the year. It all sounds doable, but we shall see. But like I said, I love this series. I want to continue. I've heard only amazing things. I believe in R.F. Kuang's power to totally like wow me even more. I mean, this series just talks about so many important things. Also content warnings for like sexual assault and war crimes and violence, that kind of thing. It's really graphic, at least in some parts, so be careful. I love this series, I love this first book, and I will not be disappointed. So we will finish this by 2021. I am projecting that out into the universe. Next books of series is actually my second one in the priority list, and this is the Winter Night Trilogy by Catherine Arden. The first book is The Bear and the Nightingale, and if you don't know, I did this vlog on my channel when I read folklore / Eastern European history inspired or mythology inspired books, and I read like three of them, and The Bear and the Nightingale was one of them. And this one is Russian inspired, and we follow our main character Vasya, who has grown up in this estate in like the coldest part of Russia and with her whole family, and she's a special girl because she can see ghosts. Well, no ghosts, sorry, they're not ghosts. She can see like magical creatures like of the olden times. She thinks that's wonderful and she lives her life and is happy. But then one day her father decides to remarry, and the girl he brings from the capital to be her stepmother is not so fond of the creatures because she thinks they're demons, and she actually employs a priest who comes, and it's all about conversion, new religion versus old religion. It's amazing, I love it, and this series is so, I only heard that it gets even better. So many people tell me that the second book is their favorite, and I already actually again purchased the second book, and I'm gonna buy the third one, but it was cheaper in Waterstones, so I'm gonna wait till I can go to the Waterstones. Okay, maybe not wait, I'll order it online because I will wait forever. Yeah, this series, wonderful, whimsical, beautiful, amazing, blah. So I cannot wait to continue. I think it's just gonna get more and more beautiful as we go on, and I'm so excited to see Vasya grow up and become the warrior, the woman, the magician I know she can be. next series that I'm super excited to read and I read very recently. And this is the Devabad Trilogy by S.A. Chakrabarti. So the first book in this series is The City of Brass. And in this we follow our main character who, she is kind of a scoundrel, kind of a scammer. She pretends that she can heal people. She actually does have the power to heal people. She just kind of does it in a very scammy way. And one day by mistake she summons a genie, and this genie takes her to the city of Devabad, which is the city where all the genies live, because it turns out she's half genie herself and thus the healing powers. This is Middle Eastern or like I think Egyptian mythology inspired series, and the first book was absolutely amazing. It was just so good. I loved it. I thought the characters, the motivations, the world, the magic system, politics, everything was amazingly intricate, complex, and it just sucked you in, and I can only imagine where the series will go as we go. I mean, already the first book had so much nuance that I was just like blown away. You can watch my vlog if you want. I used the word complex and nuanced and amazing just like 50,000 times, but it was. So I am super excited to continue. I've heard amazing things once again. I'm looking forward to finding out like where this story is going. It's just honestly was wonderful. I was blown away. I would highly recommend this actually. It also finished this year, I believe. So these are all quite fresh series that had their last book quite recently, which makes me really happy because that means I'm on top of things. All the books after this, I'm not on top. So the next series is maybe a bit random, but it's the Books of Pellinor by Alison Croghan. So I read this book from a recommendation and I have a whole video where I read it if you want to check it out. But this book is quite an old fantasy. It was really reminiscent of like Tolkien style of storytelling, and I really like that. We follow a girl who's a slave, and one day I don't remember why, but someone helps her and finds her, and turns out she's actually like a magician, and they go to like magic school. I don't know. It's not a magic school. Don't think it's a magic school. They're gonna get disappointed. They work on their magic with this like guy who's like a magician, I think. I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember much about the first book, but I remember really liking it. Like I really enjoyed it. And there's 4 books in the series, and I only read one, and I really want to continue. Like I said, I don't really remember that much about the first book, but I'm not rereading. I'm not in the business of rereading things lately. I think I'm just gonna get into it and remember and hope I remember as much as I can. This is like quite an old story, so it's actually really hard to find the first book. So I might have an issue. That's why I keep postponing as well. I'm like, if I have an issue finding these books. But nevertheless, I really enjoyed the series. I want to continue. I want to know what happens. The next series is one actually that is a refresh or hashing from the first video I made, and it is The Diviners by Libba Bray. When I made the first video, I've only read 1 book and there's 4, and at the time of filming this, I have read 3 and I haven't read the 4th. So I'm 3 for 4. Actually, I think it's pretty good and it's definitely doable. In The Diviners, we're set in like 1920s New York, and we follow our main girl Evie, who gets into a bit of trouble back home, so she has to come to New York, live with her uncle, and she's someone known as Diviner, and she has a power so that when she touches an object, she can see the past of the owner. There's more people with more powers, but I don't want to tell you. I love the series. It's really good. It has beautiful, diverse cast and beautiful writing. Audiobook is so well executed as well, because I read it as an audiobook. You have the music, you have the swankiness, you have the sass of the main character. It's really beautiful. And I've read the first 3. Like I said, I like all of them. I really enjoy all of them. I heard the 4th one's not as good. A lot of people, I think even Nicole from Nicole in her books and other people that I really trust, said that the 4th book's not very good. So I'm scared, but you know, it's fine. At this point, I've invested so much. Even though if the last book is not good, I'm going to read it. So eventually will. I mean, it's only 1. I think I already bought the audiobook for it as well, so it should be not that hard to finish it. I just need to put some time aside. Next up, we have another oldie. So this is His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. So if you don't know, His Dark Materials, the first book is called The Golden Compass in the US and The Northern Lights in the UK. It's quite an old series. There's now an HBO show or BBC show, I don't actually know. And I've read the first book, and in the first book we follow Lyra, and this is like kind of alternative Earth where people have these animals that are kind of parts of their soul. They kind of are their own entity because they can talk and think for themselves, but they're also like mentally linked with the owner. And one day Lyra's best friend gets kidnapped by some kidnappers, and she goes to the north to find him and save him, and it's just a wonderful story. I think it's a middle grade, but I loved the first book. It was so good. I heard the second and third get even weirder, which I'm on board. I need to read the second book so I can watch the second season of the show, which I also enjoyed. I thought it was pretty good. Like I said, I only read first. There's 3, so I'm not reading the sequels. I heard they're really bad, so I just don't want to do that to myself. Why would I? So I'm just gonna read the first 3, the original series. So I gotta get to that eventually. I keep seeing in the works, you know, if you live in the UK, there's this show called The Works, and they often have like series and like packs, but they're quite cheap. Like I bought all of Percy Jackson's series for £10, which is amazing. I don't know what's $12. I don't really know. I think I saw them having his Dark Materials. I might just buy that. And this is a classic. I'll give it to my children. That's how I justify every time I buy a book. I justify by I'll give it to my children. I have no children. I'm not planning to have any children anytime soon, but I need the books so I can give it to them, you know? Alright, the next series is Binti by Nandi, Okorafor. So this book is like a sci-fi short story, I want to say. I think it's like over like 100 pages, or not even, maybe below 100 pages. I listened to this on audiobook and it was super short and super lovely. I love this book. So the first book, actually, we follow our main girl, Binti, she lives in a tribe, and no one from her tribe has ever traveled to this very established university on like other side of the galaxy, but she gets a scholarship to join this university, and she travels on the ship to the university, and the book follows her travel. It's absolutely amazing. I don't want to say more because it's very short and it's gonna spoil it for you, but the way this book talks about war and friendship and belonging and understanding, and this series only has 3 books and all of them are equally short, so I need to get on, because I think I read Binti like last year or something. Not 2020, like 2019 or something. So it's been a while, but I absolutely loved it. I think I'm missing out and I need to keep reading. I feel like it's underrated. Not enough people like it. Not enough people read it. People that read it seem to really have liked it, but not everyone read it, and I need everyone to read it. Alright, now we have another repeat from the 2020 video, and this is the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. So the I did. I was like, I just talked about it, but it was a different video anyway. So in Mistborn, there's a first trilogy, which is the first era, and then there's like another 4 or so books in the second era, but the last book there isn't even out, so I'm not counting the extended series, I'm just counting the trilogy. So out of the trilogy, I've read 2 out of 3, and the first book is Final Empire. In the Final Empire, we follow a world where the Dark Lord won, and basically life is miserable, and we follow a band of people who want to overthrow him. There's some people within them known as Mistborn, and Mistborn are a magic wielder who can consume any metal. Well, who can consume a metal, and the metal, depending on what metal it is, gives you a superpower or like a special magical ability. I really like the first book. I really like the second book, and I want to finish the third book. Just they're so long. They're so bloody long. And the audiobooks for them like 30 hours. You know, it takes time, takes dedication, and maybe I'll get there this year. I want to, so I can continue with the next era. But I might give myself a break for the next era. Next up, we have another repeat from 2020, and that is Arc of Scythe by Neil Shusterman. So the first book is Scythe, and this is a wonderful sci-fi series where we follow this world where all kind of suffering has been eliminated. People literally cannot die for any reason because they can be just brought back to life, and this has led to overpopulation. And to deal with overpopulation, they have tasked some people with this task of gleaning or killing people so that they can call the population a little bit, and these people are called scythes, if I didn't say so already. And we follow 2 apprentices who are being trained for the road of Scythe, and one of them has to be gleaned at the end of it, so it's between them and like which one will you choose kind of thing. This series talks about so much humanity, greed, corruption. Absolutely wonderful. I've read the first 2 books and I need to read the third. Again, I heard the third one's bad, so I'm scared. I just want to put a stamp of finished book series on it, you know. And the last series on this list is The Witcher by Andrei Sapkowski. So if you don't know The Witcher, we follow Geralt of Rivia, who is a witcher, and a witcher is a person who can kill all the monsters. This is a Polish book by a Polish author, but gained a lot of popularity because of the games, and now there's a Netflix TV show. I read the first book, the same vlog I read the Winter Night Trilogy, the first book, and this one is a bit of a stretch because the first 3 books are short story collections. I don't like short story collections. Oh well, I read the first book, I did enjoy it. I do want to get to the actual plot so bad though, and there's 5 of them overall. Oh no, wait, so there's 5 main novels and there's 3 short stories. I'm not gonna read all of this in 2021. I'm just hoping I can read all of the short stories and maybe the first book. So I think if I put it on this list, maybe at least I'll try reading like 2 or 3 in the series so I can slowly make my progression. You know, I'm like a glacier with this. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you could, leave the stack of books emoji so that I know that you're rooting for me to finish all of this series. Tell me your #1 series you want to finish in 2021. I really want to know. And otherwise, please comment, subscribe, and like. It will really help me out. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!